Mangwana ni mwanelepo vukenja ni klekwas dumela vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. Now, last night there were WAFCON playoff qualification games, and these were the results. Ghana getting the best of Cote d'Ivoire 2-1. South Africa defeating rivals Nigeria 2-1. Now, keeping in mind, Nigeria are the reigning champions. What this means is that Nigeria will not be going to the Women's World Cup, and hence you can see the image there of Michelle Alozie, inconsolable, understanding what this moment means for them. We certainly hope that the Super Falcons will be soaring again in the near future. Outside of that, these are some of the top stories we'll be looking at. Zambia votes as Hichilema seeks second term against Brian Mundubile. At least 44 dead after ferry sinks on Zimbabwe's Lake Kariba. And Chawinga sisters power Malawi into historic WAFCON final. We'll also be broadcasting a special interview that I conducted with the Executive Director of the UNAM Foundation, Bernadette Bock, with regards to the Chancellor's annual charity gala dinner, which is set to take place next week at the University of Namibia. This is Africa Good Morning. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories shortly.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises. From artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism.
Zambians began voting on Thursday in presidential, parliamentary and local government elections, with incumbent President Hakainde Hichilema favored to secure a second term after 5 years in office. Polls opened at 6 a.m. and were set to close at 6 p.m., but those hours were extended while results are expected on Monday. Hichilema, who has led Zambia since 2021, is campaigning on his economic record after steering the country through debt restructuring and recovery following its 2020 sovereign debt default. His main challenger, Brian Mundubile, is contesting the presidency for the first time. We'll be showing you videos right now of Hichilema voting. Now, speaking of Brian Mundubile, he is contesting the presidency for the first time and leads an opposition alliance backed by supporters of late former President Edgar Lungu. Now, the cost of living pressures remain a major issue despite improved economic indicators. University of Zambia student James Speedy said he voted for Hichilema, citing restored student meal allowances, while Samuel Chitendwe said he backed Mundubile because he is tired of claims about economic progress. Now, Mike Sichula, our correspondent in Zambia, managed to get a clip of Tarsila Lungu as she had just cast her vote. Tarsila Lungu being the daughter of the late former president of Zambia, Edgar Lungu. Here's that video.
This is a very, very important day, so I couldn't miss it. As much as I am mourning, very, very sad. but I had to be here. It's a very important election, and I urge all the voters to get out and vote. Don't be frustrated. Get out in numbers. Doesn't matter how long you have to wait. Please vote, vote, vote. The country's future depends on it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have you voted yourself?
I have.
In Chawinga?
I have. Thank you so much.
Now, in a disheartening, sad story that has gripped the hearts of Zimbabweans, Africans, and truly people worldwide, a ferry sank in Kariba Dam, and this is apparently because of a giant unexpected wave. Our correspondent in Zimbabwe, Gore, reports.
Well, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has declared a national disaster, the tragedy that struck in Kariba on Tuesday, in which a ferry capsized in Lake Kariba. 44 bodies have since been recovered, whilst 77 passengers have been rescued following the capsizing of a boat on Lake Kariba, with a dozen other people still unaccounted for. Apparently, just yesterday alone, the Zimbabwe Republic Sub-Aqua and the Zimbabwean National Army Sub-Aqua managed to retrieve 31 bodies before calling it a day, and they are going to resume their operation this Thursday morning. And we understand that the vessel operated by the Rural Infrastructure Development Agency capsized on Tuesday after being struck by strong wave whilst navigating near Long Island. It was traveling from the lakeside town of Kariba towards Chalala at the time. And the ferry, we understand that it had a capacity of carrying only 90 passengers and 5 crew members. But apparently, one of the crew members, the person who was actually issuing out tickets to passengers to board on the ferry, admitted and said that they had 153 people on the boat, including 5 crew members. They said that they had issued out 153 passengers on the boat, in which the ferry had a capacity of only carrying 90 passengers. The vessel was hit by a strong wave and overturned, and footage shared online by various people and media organizations appear to show the overturned hull floating in the water. President Emmerson Mnangagwa yesterday, when he declared the incident as a national disaster, said that the capsizing of a boat on Lake Kariba that had killed at least 44 people had exposed serious deficiencies in the country's maritime safety capabilities. For some passengers who were speaking to different media organizations, to different journalists in Kariba, they said that the ill-fated Mbuyane ferry, the tragedy on Lake Kariba, did not come without a warning. They said that they warned, even before they boarded the ferry, they had told the captain that it was not safe for them to travel as the winds were strong. Apparently, the wave, rather, that was hitting on that particular day, it's known as the Binga wave, and it is known to be very strong, and people should take heed of that wave. But apparently, the captain did not listen, and he did what he had to do. He just traveled despite all the warnings from the passengers. Strong winds were already even left the harbor, whilst a battery and inverter destined for Mola were swept into the water as passengers prepared for the journey. As the weather deteriorated, more belongings were blown overboard and water began seeping into the vessel, prompting passengers to question whether it was safe to proceed. The warnings, the survivors said, went unheeded, and the captain did what he had to do. He just drove the vessel. He just drove rather the ferry, despite the warnings that he was getting from people. Apparently, the Mbuyane vessel ferry, which was operating all along, it is the only mode of transport that people in Kariba used from Lakeside Kariba into other areas, to Binga, to Chalala, to Gache in those areas. So apparently it is the only mode of transport that is available, despite there being buses. Apparently the buses are too expensive for those people. They cost at $30. We got this from our sources and other people who stay in Kariba, who were telling us that it's expensive for them to travel using a bus, because it costs $30, whilst the vessel only costed $8, but it takes 7 hours for them to reach their destinations. So once that vessel leaves the lakeside to Chalala, to Mola, to those different areas, that in that area, it takes days for it to come back. So you only have a chance to travel with it, because once you are left behind, you can't then follow, because usually they do not have transport money. They depend on that ferry. So that is the situation in Kariba. And right now, most of the passengers rather, or the survivors rather, are being helped at an emergency response camp that was set up at a local school in Kariba. And
we'll certainly be following up on more details on that developing story. Now it's time for us to round up our top stories, talking about Malawi, who reached the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations final after beating Algeria 3-1 in Rabat, continuing a remarkable debut tournament led by sisters Tabitha and Temwa Chawinga. Malawi, the lowest ranked side competing in Morocco, had already defeated Nigeria and Ghana before overcoming Algeria in a frantic semi-final featuring 2 first-half red cards following VAR interventions. Algeria defender Morgan Baukita was dismissed for denying Tabitha Chawinga a goal-scoring opportunity before Tabitha opened the scoring in the 33rd minute with an overhead kick. Temwa doubled Malawi's advantage in first half at a time before Rose Kadzere was sent off following another VAR review of a studs-up lunge. Ikram Majabi pulled one back for Algeria after the break, but Tabitha scored again to secure Malawi's place in Sunday's final against Cameroon. The Scorchers are the first debutants since the inaugural 1998 edition to reach the final, and have also qualified for next year's FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. The Chawinga sisters have scored 8 of Malawi's 12 tournament goals. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, we're going to be bringing you the interview that I had with Bernadette Bock, who is the Executive Director of the University of Namibia Foundation, talking about the Chancellor's annual charity gala dinner. Let's have a look at the weather. Suraj Jaganaka. This is Africa Good Morning, and joining me in studio is the Executive Director of the UNAM Foundation, Bernadette Bock, as we talk about the annual Chancellor's Charity Gala Dinner, or is it the Chancellor's Annual Gala Dinner?
The
Chancellor's annual charity gala dinner.
Wonderful,
Yes.
as long as we get there. Thank you for joining us in studio,
Thank
Bernadette.
you so much for having us and having me.
It's good to have you here. As a UNAM alumni myself, I'm always excited about everything that the university is doing. Now, as we get into it, what do you think or what do you know is behind this year's theme? One university, every ability.
Yes, we're very excited about the event. It's actually the second time that we're hosting the event based on this theme. And for us, that means that every student that enters the university, they've got different abilities. They've got different talents, they've got different aspirations, different dreams. And that is what makes us such a diverse and exciting community, and that's actually the university's strength. So what we're saying is that despite this wide range of talents and abilities, each and every student have got the same right to quality education. And abilities or disabilities should not prevent any student from achieving those aspirations, pursuing in the first place and then ultimately achieving those aspirations. So each and every student have got a different way of learning, they've got different needs, they have different support needs. And with this theme and this event, we are trying to make sure that each and every student actually have, especially those with disabilities, that they have the required resources that can help them achieve those aspirations.
I think that's incredible, because if you look at a lot of universities around the world, this is usually something that is outsourced. It's usually a group of people who are, you know, in the activism section, people in social work, trying to conscientize the university with regards to these otherwise marginalized students. But I think it's refreshing to see a university be intentional to address this and to make sure that the educational system is as inclusive as possible. Now, you're saying this is the second time that you've hosted the gala dinner under this theme.
Yes, that's right.
What difference has the support you received from the first gala dinner made with regards to the UNAM Foundation?
Last year we raised just over 1.3 million in support.
Wow.
Those funds have enabled us to procure the equipment, the technology that is needed to help these students with disabilities become more independent, maneuver around more independently across the campus, the main campus. For now, we're focused on main campus. So it has helped them to maneuver more independently, to do their assessments more independently, because the reality is that many of the students with disabilities, they need so much support from staff. So we've seen that you can see the improvement. So we got the funds, we did the procurement, we have installed some of them. We're still busy installing the rest of the equipment within the university's disability unit. And now we're moving on with this year's gala dinner. We're moving on to the next phase, which would be now making sure that students at the other 11 campuses of the university also receive the same type of support.
That's incredible.
And you are very right saying that University Intentional, it's got a policy on inclusivity. It's got a dedicated disability unit to support students across the 12 campuses of the university. But we also can't do this alone. So all the outsourcing that you're talking about, we need
I was actually going to get there with you.
The difference is just that university is driving it.
It's driving it, and that's really what it is. The university is driving it, and it's usually very difficult to help someone who does not know how to be helped. The amount of work that needs to go in identifying these very intricate problems. You know, for some of us, it could be as easy as looking at a smoother staircase or a couple of wheelchairs, but it's much more detailed than that. And when you see the university has already gotten into that detail, it makes a lot of sense to now involve our partners to support. Now, you're looking for support from corporate Namibia, from public institutions, from the public in general. Why is this important?
Because inclusivity is a shared responsibility. Yes, as we rightly said now, the university drives it. We have a good idea of what is needed, because like I said, we've got this specialized disability unit with specialized staff. But we, of course, still need the support. And that support can look so different. Corporate Namibia can support, for example, with equipment, with expertise, with internship and employment opportunities for staff. I mean, for students with disabilities. Alumni like yourself, you've got that special connection with university. So your personal networks, of course, your support through the gala dinner as well as beyond would make an immense or very big difference. Development, our development partners, they've got the expertise, they've got there's potential for longer term program support, not individual activity support as such, but really program support to help us to make sure that we actually align with international standards and all that. So each and every type of contribution makes a huge difference. People always say, but I can only buy a seat. That 2,000 with which you buy the seat with, that can help us take a step further in getting those equipment that makes such a big impact for those students.
That's incredible. Now, the gala dinner itself is going to take place on Friday, the 21st of August.
That's
what can guests expect at the gala dinner?
Well, it's a gala after all,
Yes,
so we
indeed.
really hope that people will come looking beautiful.
Yes.
There will be good entertainment, there will be good food, good conversations, and really a very fantastic opportunity for engagement, for networking, because everybody will be represented. Government, private sector, academia, and the general public. Each one will be there, and it will be an opportunity for our guests to also engage. But then, of course, at the end of the day, we want to raise the awareness about the opportunities that are there. First of all, the experiences of disabled students, but then also the opportunities that are there. We will be reporting on what has happened thus far, what have we've been able to achieve thus far, and what is the way forward for this project or the course that we are working on currently. So, but yes, so at the end of the day, fantastic evening, come and enjoy, but it is an evening with a very impactful course.
Rooted in purpose.
Fantastically said.
All right, now I would have asked you how people can assist, but I think we've already talked about that. I think we covered that quite comprehensively. But what would you say to someone who's still undecided on whether or not to attend the gala? Aside from telling them that Ashwin Berry will be the MC at the gala, do make sure you're there.
That alone should draw so many people. I would say come out, join us, come meet us, come meet the students for whom we are doing all this. Come engage, but then also, of course, important to say is that even if you can't make attending the gala dinner is not the only way of support. So even if you can't make the evening, come reach out to us. Let's have that conversation.
This is the UNAM Foundation?
This is the UNAM Foundation.
Yes.
I give contact details and all that.
We'll be able to flight them on screen.
Okay,
No
fantastic. So yes, there's an opportunity on Friday, the 21st, but then also before or after there will be opportunities for us to engage to see what exactly are your, what are the potential partners' aspirations, what are your, which areas can you support, and then we can see how we can match the potential with the actual needs.
All right, brilliant. So Friday the 21st of August is the Chancellor's annual charity gala dinner. I got to write this down.
Yes.
I probably should, if I'm going to be emceeing. I should have that at the back of my head. Bernadette, thank you very much for joining us on Africa. Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so Namibia, you've heard it. We're trying to make sure that all students have access to education and to make sure that we can grease the wheels in what could possibly be a difficult experience for some of them joining us at the University of Namibia, which belongs to all of Namibia. Thank you for joining us.